Hi there, welcome back to the channel. So last night and all through whenever I was able to do it during the day today, just breaking away for a moment here and there, I was realizing once again that I think the tempo is still a little fast. 105 is just a little too fast to get the riff together. But the exciting news is I put on the headphones and I don't think they're taking it down from 105 to 100.8, which is like a 4% change. It's not making a big difference. I don't hear any glitches or anything, so I'm going to try it tonight real quick. We're going to doctor all the drum tracks the way we usually do, but I'm also going to change the tempo by 4%. So let me connect, per usual, going into the MacBook Pro from the Zoom. Actually, let me turn on the screen recording so that we can capture all this. Okay, so we got a USB, hit the reader. You'll see card reader come up on the screen, and now the long wait for it to pop up on my MacBook, because this is like a 10-year-old MacBook Pro, and it is just slow, but it's paid for, and I still like it because of the big screen. There we go. Alright, so I'm opening it up. We'll go to Project, and yesterday we did all 4 of them at once, and I think that can work, but I think just so that I don't get confused as I doctor each track, I'm going to just do them one at a time and just follow the same, do the same thing for each one and output them one at a time like I usually do, as opposed to doing all 4 of them at once, because I'm going to do the same thing to each one. And we'll start by changing the speed, or the tempo, not the speed. The speed would actually make the drums sound lower. I think it would change the note profile. You would hear lower notes, and I don't want that. So I'm going with the tempo where it doesn't change the speed. So it's already been done. It's -4. I went from, let's go to 105 like I had it, and look, it takes it to 100.8. Okay, so we're going to say yes. Now we've changed the tempo, and it gives me a little more time on the song. The song seemed like it was kind of coming to an end really quickly at 3:15, 3 minutes, I think. And I don't hear any problems, so this might actually work. Okay, and then we're going to do the usual here, just run through this real quick. I'm not going to worry about silencing the beginning here because I can do that at the end. In fact, I'm going to not do that. Oh heck, there's no reason to leave this here. We'll silence this first, so it's Command L, or you can go up here to Generate and do Silence. And then after that, I usually clear everything off and go to noise reduction, and I'm going to do it just oh shoot, did that wrong. Let me cancel this. Remember to take, and see, that's why I shouldn't have done the I'm going to undo the silence, because that's where I'm going to get my noise profile. So I'm just getting ahead of myself here. Alright, so now we're going to go to noise reduction, get that profile. Should always do this first so I don't mess up. Okay, and now I'm going to just click on it and repeat noise reduction, so we get the same. Good. And then I think I'm going to go here. If I remember this track, it has a couple of peaks. There's one. I'm going to go back to noise. Now watch this little thing I'm going to do here. Once I do this once, oh shoot, not noise reduction, it's amplify, sorry. Once we go to amplify, I'm going to go -3.0 on this one little spot, and then I can just copy it, paste it. Just go here, that, and then you just hit Command V or paste. Oh wait, shoot, not do that. You got to go up here and hit repeat amplify. That cleaned up that little bit. There's another one right here. Let's do it again. Good. I don't see any other little glitches here. Look, although these are kind of hot here. Those are hot. Let's try to clean those up. I'm just worried that they'll give me trouble once they're back in the Zoom. Yeah, that's good. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Just get these more in line with the rest. And I'll check this real quick and just make sure you can't tell, that it's changing the volume. Okay, the gain. Okay, let's see what we have here. I'm going to just check that area where I did all that, just to make sure it doesn't Okay, good. Now, let me think, is there something I'm forgetting to do? I will go ahead and just maybe silence this now, since we did our noise reduction. Okay, and then I'm going to export this as snare, we'll call it snare 1. Snare 1. Good. And now we don't need this anymore. Nope, no changes need to be saved. Then we're going to go to left overhead. Follow the same protocol. We'll go with our change tempo first. Let's just check the track, make sure it's okay. Good. Excuse me. Okay, so now let's first step is we're going to change tempo. All right, and it's all set up so we don't have to do anything, no adjustments, because we've already done it. So just hit OK on that. Sorry. Okay, good. Now we're going to do the usuals. We're going to do the usual stuff. We'll take a little sample here for the noise reduction. Got that noise profile. Click again. Repeat it. Boom. Oh shoot, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do the classic filters on the other one, so we'll pull that one back in and do that. Okay, so we have now changed our tempo, we've noise reduced. Let's silence this intro bit just by hitting Command L. You can also go up to generate and hit silence. Okay, then we're going to go, the other thing I like to do is the classic filters. That cleans up the drums nicely. Good. Okay, and everything looks good. We don't have to adjust these levels. They look fine. It was just that other mic that was making that peak a little bit. Or not even peak, but just be a little hotter than the other signal. Okay, so we're going to go, let's say, left overhead, LOH1. Okay, and then we're going to hit save on that. Okay, we're exporting, so we're going to just kill this. No, we don't need that. All right, I'm going to go back to snare 1 and take it into Audacity. And we're going to just go up to the effect, the one we just did. Go to classic filters because we did not do that. And now we are going to do it. Good. And now I can just re-export this. It's kind of a cool thing to show you. If you make that mistake, you forget to do something, just reopen it, rename it. It's going to say, hey, you sure you want to override? And yes, you do. And now snare 1 has the high pass filter. I'm going to hit the red button to kill it. We're not going to save the changes because we don't want to start a new project. So now we have our snare 1, our left overhead 1. Let's go with our right overhead 1. We're getting on a roll here and starting to make some progress. Okay, same thing. I'm going to just first start by changing tempo. It's already set up for me. Everything is good. Good. Now we're going to noise reduce. We'll take a sample, go up here, noise reduction. We'll get that noise profile. Click again so that it clears that. And then you just repeat so the entire track gets like a dB of noise reduction. Good. Now I'm going to do, let's see, I'll do classic filters. And of course, you know what to do with your tracks. You can use any effects you want. I'm going to silence this. I'll go up to generate and generate some silence. And if you just hit Command L on a Mac, I'm not sure what it is on a PC, but you will be off and running. You don't need to do that. Okay, so we have done the change of the tempo, the noise reduction, the silence here, and the classic filters. So this one is done. Like I said, we're getting rolling. Okay, so this is right overhead 2. right overhead 1, save, yes, we want that. We're going to export and we're going to destroy it because we don't want to change, we don't want to make another project. Okay, and then finally we have this one here, the last one. This should be the bass drum. Yep. everything's fine here. All right, so we are going to first, don't want to make a mistake and not change that tempo. We're going to change our tempo first. Good. Now we're going to take a sound sample here so that we can noise reduce. There it is. Get that profile. Re-click, so now it just takes the whole track. Apply the noise reduction and wait. Especially with my computer, we have to wait. Okay, now we're going to, let me do it here. We'll just silence. Command L. Okay, and then with noise reduced, silence, and I'm not going to do the classic filters on the bass drum. No, I'm not going to. Okay, so now, because I want to get all the bass drum, and I think it sounds great. Okay, so now I'm going to export the audio, and we're just going to call it bass drum. Bass drum 1, because we're going to do 2 of each of these. I should have mentioned that. The reason I'm saying 1 is because there's also going to be a corresponding matching 2. Alright, no change, save, we don't want a project. And now, I've got to get all these in here. So I'm going to go to the audio and open that, just that folder, so we don't have all that silly business of it going in and sitting in the wrong spot. We got snare 1. We got left overhead 1. Right overhead 1. And bass drum 1. And this is another time we'll have to sit and wait as it slowly brings all these into the Zoom audio folder. Let's just give it you can see how it takes a bit, especially with this old computer. I'll get a new one eventually. I'm just trying to ride this one out, and the new 16-inch is really expensive. These things are like, I don't know, like $3,000 by the time you get them. So I'm just trying to hold off and use this one since it still officially works. It's just a little slower. Okay, and there's everything. Now, remember what we do next. We're going to go through and rename this one snare 2. Oops, don't want to do snare 12. Snare 2, we lost our period there. Make sure we didn't screw it up. Bring that one in. Then I just go in order. Rename all these. 2 on the overhead, the left overhead. Then I'm going to click on the right overhead as that left overhead is loading in. Trying to click on the text box. And then finally, bass drum. Bass drum 2. Drag her in. Once that goes in, we can finally see what we have and get back to the Zoom. Okay, so now I'm going to drag this, and I like to leave this dialog box open, you know, where it says audio. I'm going to just leave this open. Let's see if it drags it out a little faster, and let's double check. We got our bass drums, our left overheads, our right overheads, and our snare. Everything should be fine and dandy. Let me just quit Audacity. There. And now watch, I'm going to try to just drag this out and see if it takes it faster than it has been. If I leave this dialog box, well, it didn't really take it any faster. I dragged it once, let's drag it again and see if it goes. Still just sitting there. So this computer just has some, there it goes. Cool. Okay, so this computer just has, you know, a few issues as far as like, I don't know, working correct, or just being fast. Okay, so I'm going to save that screen recording. Beautiful. Okay, so now, and once you exit out, you know, once you dump it and it's released from the computer, you have to release it from here. It'll still be blinking card reader and showing you the little graphic. You just hit exit, terminate. Are you sure? Yes or no? You're going to go up to yes, obviously, because we do want to terminate. If you decided, oh shoot, I forgot to do something, you know, you could hit no and start over, I'm assuming. I don't think so though. Okay, so now I'm unplugging, and now we're going to put it in the Zoom. I'll connect it to this amp real quick. Alright, be right back. Okay, so I'm going to turn on this thing here, the KB3. Wait, actually, let me connect it to the Zoom. If you know your Zoom, you look on the back here and you have outputs. I'm actually going to roll there's a volume knob right next to the output. I'm going to roll it all the way down so you don't get any surprising noises in case this thing makes a lot of noise. But on the output, I'm going to just go to, in the old days, let's see, it says 1, right and left. In the old days, if one of them would be, I'm going to just assume that right is like a mono output. It doesn't really matter because we're mono output anyway. Good. And we don't need this anymore. This connects to the computer. So I'm going to wrap this. Don't need any more. Put it over here. Okay, and now, next thing we're going to do, since we have all the tracks in the Zoom, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll leave these 4 tracks here. We have our green lights on, right? These are the 4 tracks. I'm going to hit the track button. And yeah, these are the original drum tracks. And so, and that they are in the first bank, 1 through 4. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign the new track so we can compare and make sure there's not that weird noise isn't happening, because this speaker is pretty loud. You'll be able to hear it at home, I hope. Okay, I'm going to go to the third bank, 17 through 24. Push that so that the red indicator light is next to it as opposed to being on 1 through 8. And now you can see these tracks are wide open, haven't been used. So I'm going to hit track. Actually, you need to hit track first, because you see when I hit track, it took it back to bank 1. Now we hit our third bank after you hit track. Okay, and it shows us that track, let's go to track 17. That's where I usually put the drums. Remember, on that third row and the third bank. Track 17, new take. I'm going to hit enter, file, hit enter again, and then let's see, we have snare 1. I'm going to assign snare 1, move over a notch, do it again, file. I'm going to assign snare 2, move it over, new take, file. Let's put left overhead per usual. Move to take 20, we'll do the number 2. Alright, now I'm going to do the right overhead 1 and take on track 21. File, where are you? Right overhead. So I go to right overhead. Then on track 22, it's going to be number 2, right overhead 2. Let's see, there it is. Now I'm going to go to track 23 and do bass drum 1. There it is. Track 24, bass drum 2. So we have 8 drum tracks now on this back row. And these are the new tracks. And let me just make sure they're all there. Everything looks good. Good, good. Okay, and let me just check the levels really quickly and assign the tracks. So see how it's still, there's no lights here? We assign them. I'm going to just take my fingers, all 4 fingers, and hit these tracks. Arms those. Then I go to these 4. Watch, we'll just arm them. And you can also, do them one at a time. It's just kind of a neat trick. If you're in a hurry, you just start getting used to the machine and blap, blap. Okay, so now I've got all 4 of them up. And I'm going to do it one more time so it's just playback. I don't want to risk, erasing anything. Although you can always undo. So I hit it again. That one I didn't hit. And then here again. And now we have all of them as playback. Now, next step, I'm going to hit pan EQ. See how I jumped to the first bank? Hit that third bank so that we're looking at the correct tracks. It's really annoying if you do all this extra work. Pan EQ, reverb, chorus, EQ adjustments, reversing polarity, whatever. You do all this stuff and you realize, oh shoot, I've been doing it to the wrong track this whole time. That's why I didn't hear anything. So you want to always make sure you're in the correct bank. Just look up there and you can tell. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure that everything is just panned correctly. Center panned. The left is going to the 40, both of them. The right is going to the 40. And because I've already done this before with some other tracks, all of it's already set up. So if you've done this ahead of time, when you make a change like this and switch out tracks or whatever, luckily all the settings usually stay there. The project will remember all of it. Okay, so we're all good there. I'm going to go to this first bank, back to the first bank, number 1 bank, and I'm going to disable these tracks. We don't want them playing at the same time. Alright, so I'm going to just undo those. Now, let's go back to these tracks, and now we're going to play them and just make sure that that weird sound is not happening. And I hope that this plays back flawlessly for us while we're on camera. Okay, I'm going to go to on. I've got it in mic line. Believe it, I have it in the right one. It's number 3. Yeah. Okay. Channel 3, that should be good. Let's just see what happens here. You can always adjust the volume as we go. hopefully, I don't think I heard anything bad, but let's check in the original tracks and see if, so watch. I'm going to silence these by just going through 4 at a time and taking them off. I'm going to go back to the first bank. First time we hit them, they're red. Second time we hit them, they're green, ready for playback. Okay, that's a good reference. I'm going to undo those so they're gone again. Go back to the third bank where we have our new tracks. I'm going to just turn on the first 4 so it's a closer comparison to that one, because that was only doing the first 4. I didn't double the first one. Okay, one more time I'm going to check it. I don't hear a big difference. It doesn't sound great coming through here, but at home with the headphones I'll be able to make the final decision. Alright, so going back to the first bank, we're going to turn them on, they're going to go red, and then we hit it again and they go green. And red is record mode, green is playback. Okay, so we've made the changes. You've seen all the things we've done. Hopefully that's helped you with your projects. I think this changing tempo thing is possible. I'm going to go home and live with it overnight and really compare the 2 tracks and see if I can hear anything. Maybe record a sample guitar track on top of it. If I feel confident, I'm going to roll with it and start tracking with it at this tempo. If not, I'll be retracking drums tomorrow at 100. Just because, you know, it'll make me feel better. I don't want to have the drums sound funny. That would suck. But right now I'm feeling pretty hopeful that this is possible. So anyway, day 2 of changing tempo and realizing that, you know, this is just what happens, especially when you're early on the song, you don't have a lot of time. And this riff is deceptively, it sounds faster than it is. It's going really slow, but it sounds like it should be faster. And then when you play it fast, you kill the groove. So anyway, that's where we're at, and I hope this helped. See you next time.